So today we're talking about meditation. Meditation is a calming of your mind. Now, when we're talking about the mind, what exactly are we talking about? Now, the mind is something that in today's society we overwork, we overemphasize, and we regard it too highly. Doing these things can create stress and anxiety. It can also lead to many diseases, both psychologically and physically. The mind is a tool, like any part of your body, and we want to allow it to rest and be calm so that when we actually need it to work, it's ready to do its job. And it does that job very well, but it's not a job that should take over and work all the time. When we calm down the mind, it also allows for creative thought. Now, I'm a musician, and I've taught hundreds of people one-on-one and thousands of people online. And what I haven't seen is a ton of people, especially while they're learning, being very creative in music. Even myself, a lot of times I take things and I rearrange them. I don't create anything really new. And because when I'm using my mind to do music, all I'm doing is taking different parts and putting them together like a puzzle. It's not really creating, it's just organizing in the best way that I want it to work. So, giving your mind a space to calm down allows for more creative thoughts. You'll find that a lot of great minds, great people, and we call them great minds in the past, had these periods and times where they would allow space for creative thought to arise. A lot of people will call this your monkey mind. And what happens is your mind is just overthinking and it needs to do something. So what we try to do sometimes when you're first starting meditating is give your monkey mind something to do. Now that could be just focusing on your breathing. Every time you start thinking about something else, you tell your monkey mind to just think about your breathing again. It can think about your breathing and go into a repetitive state so that you can almost leave it there and let it do its thing and allow for more, like I said, creativity to arise. There's other things that we do that will also allow that monkey mind to focus on something. Some of these things are long distance running. Now, long distance for some people might be running a mile. Typically, you'd want to get into a nice rhythm, and that usually takes at least 5 or 10 minutes of running straight so that you get into a nice rhythm. Also, this incorporates your breathing, and but a lot of people will get into this rhythm and really have a nice calm when they're done running. Not as much because of the exercise, but more because their mind has been calmed down. Same reason why people do knitting. There's also coloring. This is one of the reasons that I actually have made a coloring book. I'll link to this on the bottom. It's all about the Florida Keys fish and coral. But any coloring book allows you to kind of focus on something menial though, and it allows you to really calm down and reduces stress. Now, some of the things that don't do this are TV and reading books. Those are things that actually overstimulate the mind, but we don't need to think about them. So the mind just absorbs it, and it gives us more and more material to do this loop and to think about things later and to run them over in our mind, the different scenarios in the books and in the movies. And it's not a healthy thing to use for relaxation of your mind, because it's more about just blocking out everything else by flooding your mind with other things. So what happens when our mind is overworking is a lot of times it will think in loops. It'll take the same things and just run them over and over and over again. And what this does is it doesn't allow you to think of different things in different scenarios, and it doesn't give you any extra information, and it usually doesn't give you any conclusions. It just keeps working that mind so that you feel good about doing something about the situation, but really nothing's happening. no work has been done. It's just going over a loop over and over and over again. And studies have found that every mind does have these loops, and creating a time of calm can break that and allow you to think about a situation fresh again and have a better reason, a better conclusion, something more appropriate to think about and go into. Sometimes we think about a specific thing, like a mantra, which is a saying that you say over and over again, or sometimes a question. So you go into your quiet time, you think about your breathing, and you just ask a question in your mind, a specific question that you have for the day, and you just keep thinking about that, but you do it in the state of almost separating your mind from the question. It's not the same loop of information that you're trying to really force it to work. You're not necessarily trying to have your mind answer this question. You're just thinking about it and going into a meditative state with that question available. Sometimes you will find original thought. All of a sudden you'll think about something new regarding this question. And sometimes it's just something that you'll find you'll get more insight into. Meditation is a practice. It's not something that you just pick up once a week or once a month and do for an hour and get your dose of it. It's something that you have to keep doing to practice and get your mind working into it. Think of it as exercising anything in your life. You're not going to get the benefits of going to the gym if you only go once a week. So if you can set aside like 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day, think about your breathing and do some meditative work, you're going to find so many benefits into your life. So try this out. Do 10 minutes or 20 minutes a day and try doing it for 100 days or 3 months. It will probably take a while, at least over a month, to really get into it and to really start feeling like you're doing it right. And then as you get more comfortable in it, you'll find that you'll see a lot of more benefits in your life from doing that. You'll be able to focus on things better at work. You'll be able to, if you do it in the morning, you'll be able to start the day better. And there's just so many benefits that you're not going to see until you've done it for a while. So once again, meditation is something that has been in almost every culture throughout history, and obviously is in the Bible like we saw earlier. And it's something that is beneficial for every part of your life. So if you've been thinking at all about doing it, I suggest you just put it into your schedule and start practicing it, because you're not going to understand what you're missing until you've done it for a while. So if you have any questions, just leave them below in the comments. And I'd love to hear how you're doing meditation and when you do it. Is it better for you in the morning or at night? So I hope this has been helpful for you. And check out some of my other videos about different divination practices in the Bible.